What's up, people? Welcome back.
Hey guys, welcome back. So today,
It's been forever.
yeah, it's been how old is he? 2.5 months. Yeah, he's about 2.5 months, and we've just been so busy because we are actually going to be moving.
We are finally going back to the States.
Yes.
And we are going, I know you guys are going to criticize this, but we're going back to Fort Hood. But we decided to go back to Fort Hood because we want to be back close to home. That's why.
Yep. And so today, based on, y'all could tell by the title of the video, but we will be kind of explaining or giving our perspective of our labor and delivery day, especially during COVID. So it was completely not what we expected because
insane.
of COVID. So,
and for you all that have had babies during COVID, yeah, we feel for you.
yeah,
Definitely.
it is a little bit different here in Germany. I don't know exactly how they're doing it in the States, but we're still very restricted.
And we don't know how the delivery works in the States because this is our first child. So
yeah,
give us your feedback and see what's the difference, you know? All right, where should we start? Should we start from the beginning?
First of all, we got some food, okay? We got some, what is it?
Thai food.
Some Thai food.
Thai food, guys. Look at this.
We both got the
Amazing
same.
in this.
It's pad Thai.
This is pad Thai with
duck. And then I got
Shout out to these people.
some spring rolls, and Andy got some
Wontons.
Wontons.
Some crab wontons. Actually, I think that's what it is.
Okay, so starting from the beginning, go grab something to eat, something to drink.
Go
just
relax.
Something because
sit down, because enjoy this ride.
It was a long one.
It was crazy. Crazy. We're gonna tell you the story that I did. What I did.
You're annoying. He's annoying.
What I did.
Anyways, guys.
Oh, sorry for the way I eat. I eat like an animal because I am one. I'm a human. Good job. Okay.
Can we get started now?
Yes.
So starting from the beginning, I was actually on the phone with my mom the night before going into the hospital. Mind you guys, we have a 7-hour difference of time zone. So I ended up staying up till 3 a.m.
I was wrecked.
Yeah, he was knocked out. I ended up staying up to 3 a.m. and my mom actually told me, she was like, what if the baby comes today? And I was like, don't say that.
Time out. We gotta backtrack.
What?
That night before you talked to your mom, you were like, hey, I can still squat.
Oh yeah. I saw this girl squat to where you put like your butt all the way down to the floor, but your feet are still touching the floor, and I wanted to try it so bad. So I told Andy, I was like, hey look, I can still squat, and I did it.
And I was like, you know me, I was just like, don't do that, don't do that, you're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna hurt the baby, you're not gonna be able to get up. And of course she wasn't able to get up.
Whatever, but I did it though.
But you did it.
So back to what I was saying, I was up with my mom till 3 a.m. and she's like, what if the baby comes today? And I was like, no, I don't think so. So in the night, I finally go to sleep at 3 a.m. and I'm dreaming that I'm going to have the baby already. And
she's dreaming about having labor, guys.
Yeah, I was dreaming that I was having the baby. And then since, if you've been pregnant, you know that you freaking have to go pee all the time. And I would usually wake up in the middle of the night to go pee. So I felt my body like I needed to pee. The second I got up, I thought I was peeing myself. Water.
At this point, I was still asleep, right? She gets up and I kid you not, I thought she woke me up, but she says she doesn't, but she probably didn't. I woke up and I'm like, are you okay? which some nights I do that. As soon as she gets out of the bed, I ask her, "Are you okay?" Bruh, she was holding herself. Like if she peed, she was literally like this, like. And I'm like, "What's wrong?" And then she's like, "I think I peed myself." And then I'm like, I go check. Bruh, tell me why the floor looks like pinkish. Nah,
yeah,
it was like,
wasn't blood.
it wasn't blood, but it was like
I had a pink like color to it.
yeah, like a pink tint. So anyways, we were like, "Oh man, like what's going on?" And she's like, "I don't know if my water broke or I just peed myself." I'm like, "Well, your pee shouldn't look like that." So I'm
Because
pretty
of course,
sure
it's
your
our
water
first
broke.
baby, so we were freaking.
We were freaking out. And so I run and get a towel, and I'm just like, "It's okay, you know," trying to calm her down, whatever. And
But
then she's like,
I wasn't freaking out.
yeah, she wasn't freaking out.
I was really calm. I was just kind of in shock. Like, I think what was going through my head, I was like, "Is this it? Like,
Yeah, like,
this is what it feels like?" I don't know. I was confused. I don't know what I was expecting. I think I was expecting for me to be in like excruciating pain the second my water broke, but I really didn't have any contractions until I started really thinking about it. I could feel like my stomach was contracting, but I didn't have any pains. So I was like, what do we do? Because before I read up a lot like on stuff, and I had seen people that try to labor at home as much as possible before going into the hospital, so they avoid having to labor so much in the hospital. And especially with COVID, I was like, I'm gonna try to labor at home so I avoid being in the hospital as much as possible. Well, then I thought about it and I was like, my water broke. I don't know if like how long the baby could be in there after my water breaks.
yeah, we really didn't know, but you know me, I said, "I think I'm gonna shower before I go to the hospital."
I was like, well, let's go to the hospital then and see what they say. The worst thing that could happen, they'll tell us to go home or keep me there, right? I'm like, so let's go. And he's like, do you think I have time to shower? And I was like,
Sure.
I mean, sure, I'm not in any pain, so go for it. I don't know. So he jumps into the shower, and in my head, like, I pictured the moment coming and we're like, time to go to the hospital. I had my bags packed in the car already. We literally just had to go to the car. And it was completely different because he was like, can I shower? And after he gets out of the shower, I'm kind of like grabbing things together, like last minute stuff, like a charger, my phone. I walk into the restroom and he is doing his hair, full on gel, brushing his hair.
I had to look good for my son to see me, okay guys? I was not gonna go over there,
but like, what did
looking
you
like
think?
trash.
Like, did you think he was gonna pop out like
And say
5 minutes later?
Yes, your water broke. That's what I expected. Boom, water breaks. Hey, we're going to the doctor.
And boom,
and exactly. That's exactly what I thought. I mean, I knew some people took like 13 hours, 15 hours, or whatever. I wanted to look good, especially because I knew we were gonna take a lot of pictures while being there.
True. Well, I think my fear was having the baby in the car for some reason, because I didn't expect for my water to break at the house. I expected to get contractions before my water broke, and I was like, I don't know what contractions feel like, and I don't know how long to wait. Like, what if I wait too long? Now, there's not a hospital in our little city right away. We have to drive, what is it, like 20 minutes?
It's a village, but
sorry.
But yeah, like our closest hospital is about like 25 minutes. So
my worst fear was having the baby in the car. On the way over there, he's literally planning what music he's gonna play.
tell you
He
what,
had a whole ass playlist.
come at me and I will give you my playlist. Bruh, this will put you on your feels about having a boy, alright? For reals.
He had his playlist on and I was like, okay. again, I'm glad I kind of got to enjoy the moment because I was like all smiles.
She was crying. She was crying.
I was ready though. Okay guys, so I kind of prepped before. I did something called hypnobirthing, and I'll probably do another video on that, but I was prepared. I freaking got that. Like I did that, and I was super calm. I was more excited than anything. I wasn't scared. We go into the hospital, and at this time, I think it was in May, so COVID was pretty big already.
Was popping right now. COVID was popping.
Yeah, but they still didn't have a test for it. So we didn't get tested when we went in, but they were restricting the amount of time you were there. My water broke at 5 in the morning. We got to the hospital around 7. We check in. They do an exam and everything, and they tell me that I'm not dilated at all.
I'm not dilated.
But
boom.
I'm
Zero. Nada.
It was spit something. I'm not dilated, but they can tell that I am getting contractions. So they let Andy stay with me for an hour.
An hour?
No, the first time they actually made you stay an hour, because remember I had a roommate.
I think I still stayed till like 3 hours. Yeah. I still stayed like 3 hours.
Well, they let Andy stay for a little bit, and in Germany they give you roommates. You labor with a roommate, and then after you have the baby, if there's not enough room, you also stay with a roommate. They usually try to pair you up with someone that speaks English, that's also an American, but I was actually with a German, and she already had her baby. So honestly, like, I wasn't in pain, but in my head I was kind of scared to get really bad contractions, and like I didn't know how I was gonna react. So what if I was like screaming like crazy and I wake her baby up? Like that was literally in my head.
So in Germany, the nurses don't keep the babies. The babies stay in the room. That's a big difference from the German to the States.
Well, we've been told.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know how to do it, but
that's what we've seen in TV shows too.
You're comparing it to a TV show?
Yes, who doesn't? Anyways, so yeah, so like I think the whole staying with the kid is awesome.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, because I wasn't there at nighttime. Anyways, keep going.
So, they do have like family rooms that you could pay for, and your husband can stay with you or your partner can stay with you if it's available. But with COVID, they weren't allowing anybody to do that, and we were prepared to pay for a room for him to stay.
I was gonna throw stacks so I can
The
stay.
stacks he doesn't have, he was gonna throw.
Hey, credit card.
Anyways, so he stays with me, but at this point, like I said, I didn't feel contractions, so I was just kind of laying in the bed there, and we were just talking. When he leaves, I start feeding him a little bit more, and the whole day I started getting them a little bit stronger. But because again I did hypnobirthing, I was able to breathe through them really and be really calm about it. And he wasn't allowed to come back until I was 5 centimeters dilated. So tell them what you were doing while I was in the hospital, slowly progressing and freaking contracting. What were you doing?
All right, guys. So I knew this was gonna take a while, right? So obviously, she's having birth. Anyways, so I rush home, and boom, in my head, I walk in. I'm like, oh no, my son can't walk into this. So guess what? I started, what's it called? Nesting. Tell me why. Right?
You're supposed to nest like way before.
I cleaned the whole entire house, top to bottom. And then once I finished that, my hair was, I mean, even though I did my hair that morning, it was still looking a little scrubby. So
because we were in quarantine.
Yeah. So I called my friend. Hey, Jose, can you cut me up real quick? And guess what? I was cutting my hair while she was waiting to deliver.
I'm over here like laboring. Like I don't know if I'm gonna have him today. I don't know how long it's gonna take my body to dilate. and like worried about if Andy's gonna be able to come like back to the hospital in time, and he's over there cutting his hair. Who does that?
So I'm getting this fade out right here, and then I get a message from Debbie. Are you really cutting your hair right now?
My friends told me. Okay guys, sorry. But I woke up. Back to where we were at.
Alright. So I'm guessing we were talking about me getting a fade, right? Right. So yeah, so she messaged me, it's like, what are you doing? I'm like, getting my hair cut. She's like, really? You're getting a haircut right now? And I'm just like, hey.
You didn't tell me.
I know I didn't.
You didn't? No, I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, nothing, cleaning the house. I'm at home.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you sure you're not getting a haircut? Because, like, I mean, the guy is our friend's wife.
Yeah.
Is my friend. Like, and he's like, oh, I guess you found out.
So I was like, I have to do good for my son.
Meanwhile, I'm all crusty. I woke up in the morning and my hair was crusty.
Yeah. Well, I was in the shower, you could have brushed it. Who knows? You could put some makeup on. Anyways.
No.
So I finished cutting my hair. I go shower again, clean up. But the whole time, I am just waiting, bro. I am just waiting because somebody did not want to come out.
So he didn't come that night. The nighttime came and I was still not dilated, or I was dilated 1. And I'm like, man, this takes forever. But I wasn't, like I said, I was able to breathe through my contractions, so I was still really fine. I was good. The next day, I started getting them a little bit stronger. At night, I wasn't able to sleep because when I was laying on my side, my stomach would contract and I could feel him like ball up on the top, and it hurt. It was more uncomfortable than anything. So they gave me pain medication, and man, I friggin' slept. The next day, my mom was kind of helping me out through, we were on FaceTime, and she would tell me like, are you counting your, like, the minutes between your contractions? And I was like, nope. She's like, okay. So she stayed on the phone with me for hours, like, tell me when you're getting one. And that's literally, like, we weren't talking, that was literally our conversation. Tell me when you're getting one. And I'm like, I'm getting one. And I'm like trying to breathe, and she's timing it, and she's like writing down the start of my contractions to the end of my contractions. So when they would come in and ask me like, how far apart are they now, she would be the one talking and letting them know. It was already late, maybe like 2.
What? 1
Yeah, or maybe like 5, no?
Dude, it was like 9 a.m.
The next day, you were able to go in the morning? I guess he was able to go. I don't remember him being able to go in the morning. So they tell me, later on in the day, they tell me, he can't come in until you're dilated 5. I'm like, okay. So they tell me you're dilated 4, and what they do, you labor in your room, and then when you're dilated 5, they send you to a labor room, and that's when you're gonna have where you have your baby. So when I dilate 4, they tell me, you know what, go walk around the hospital for an hour to 30 minutes. You can go outside with your husband, go walk around, get things going, and then come back and we'll check you again in like an hour or 2. Like, okay. So that's when I get to finally bring him up, but it had already been so many hours that I had to labor by myself. So it was, I mean, I was on the phone with my mom, and she was a huge help, but it's completely different than having someone there with you, like being able to like rub your back, being able to tell you like positive words to keep your mind like focused. 1 second please, my baby's crying. Okay guys, sorry, he needed to nurse. I think I was talking about how I had to be dilated 5 in order to be sent to the actual labor and delivery room. But yeah, I had walked around for about an hour and a half, And then they checked me again and they're like, okay, you're dilated 5, we're ready to go, we're gonna take you to the room. And we were freaking pumped.
You were pumped.
But how did you feel when you would see me like have a contraction? Because I wasn't like screaming, I wasn't crying. I didn't cry until I'll explain, but I was fine. But how did you feel?
Bruh, I tell you what. So, what's it called? It felt weird. Like, I felt so bad for her. Like, that she was going through that pain. And I didn't know how to act. And then, like, so Debbie, like, she holds in that pain, you know? So she was just like, take deep breaths, like, you know? And I'm just trying to, like, rub her back or ask her if she needs anything, you know. I'm trying to be there for her, but at the same time, I don't even know how to do that. So I'm like panicking, but not panicking. So I'm just like, damn, like, it's real, like, I don't know how to say it. Damn. I don't know. It's crazy, like, just being there, seeing her in pain, and you can't do anything. I don't know. I don't know how to say it.
Did you realize I wasn't being exaggerated every time I told you I was uncomfortable?
And yeah, like, I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know how to say it. It was just a crazy moment, but I'm glad we got to experience some of it. Anyway, forward.
So yeah, we ended up going to the labor room, and I already had planned that I really, really wanted to do a water birth.
Yeah.
So we get into the room, they check me, everything, and they're like, okay, well, how do you want to labor? What do you want to do? You can do whatever you want. And I was like, I want to get in the tub. I want to labor in the tub. I want to have him in the tub. They're like, okay, yeah, it's available. They fill it up. I can tell you the contractions felt so much better when I was in the water. I felt like every time I got a contraction, because since I was doing hypnobirthing, we were calling them waves.
There were waves.
We weren't calling them contractions.
Like waves, like the water, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so every time I would feel the contraction, I would kind of like sway back and forth, and my body would kind of like float, like sway back and forth in the water, and it just, I don't know, it helped so much.
Yeah, and I had like the music running, like if we were out in the ocean.
The whole time, since I checked into the hospital, I didn't care who was around. I had my music playing, my soothing music playing, to keep me like calm.
It was just, you know, that meditation stage, like, it's a real hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we were there, like, and man, time is like just passing, and nothing is happening, bruh. Oh my god.
I think I was in there for like 2 hours, maybe.
Nah.
An hour and a half in the tub. And then because the midwife came out and she was like, what did she say?
For like forever.
She was like, oh, do you mind if I can check you just to see if you're progressing? We just want to make sure to see how far along like you're going. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that works. So I come out of the tub, she checks me, and she's like, you're still dilated 5. And I was like, what? Hours had passed already, and I was still dilated 5. And she's like, you know what, we're gonna start you on Pitocin, and your contractions are gonna come a lot stronger, but hopefully it should like help you dilate. And I was like, okay, cool. So they put Pitocin, and man, I freaking felt them come stronger. I felt them hitting my back, but I was still able to like breathe it through. And
she was just like deep breaths, and I'm just like, oh man, like breathe,
mind you. And then after a while I told Andy, I was like, I don't think you can do it anymore. I don't think I could handle it anymore. At this point I wasn't crying, I was taking it in, but I just felt so tired, because I think I was already like at hour 37.
No, but I think by that time we were like hitting the 30 hours.
30 hours?
Yeah, or like 32.
I was around there, but that's freaking a lot of hours to be having contractions. And I was like sucking them up. And so a few hours passed by with the Pitocin, and they're like, okay, we're gonna check you again, see if it helped, see if it did anything. And I'm like, cool. She checks me and she's like, you're still the same. And I was like, what the heck? She's like, I think your muscles are just like too tight, too tense.
They're tense.
And she's like, so we're gonna try to do something to relax your muscles. And I'm like, all right, what is it? And she goes, we want to try to put the epidural. Bruh,
she was not happy.
I was not happy because
she started crying. No, you know what? They told her, oh, we're gonna have to do the epidural, and I was just like, was that the time? I was like, don't cry.
No, that's not the time.
Oh, okay.
But she said like, you're gonna have to do the epidural, and in my head I didn't want to do the epidural. I wanted to see how far I could go. Natural. Because I had prepped so much for mentally prepped to have him natural. I was like, okay, fine, like I don't have a choice. Oh, I have a choice, of course, but I just wanted to do anything to get him out, to help him come. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Dang, there's women out there that say that they don't even feel the freaking epidural, and I don't know if it was because I was in such a calm state. That freaking epidural hurt more than my freaking contractions. I'm sorry. It was painful.
But well, they told me to step out. Like they're like, oh, you need to step out of the room. I was like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. But man, like when I came in, they're like, oh, your wife did so great. Like she didn't even make a sound. Nothing. Real strong, whatever. And I was just like, okay, cool. Yeah. As soon as they left, she was like, damn, that shit hurt.
Yeah, they left, and I was like, because one of the midwives was actually holding me from the front while the doctor was in the back, and she was like telling me like, you're doing so good, breathe, which I absolutely love. The midwives there, they were so good,
so supportive.
Yeah, super supportive. And they're like, I'm even surprised you've made it this far without screaming. Like women would be screaming right now, and I'm like, I'm trying to keep it together, like. And she helped me talk to me through it and all that. So she was a big help. And they told me, okay, we're gonna wait an hour after the epidural and then check you again. An hour passes, they check me and tell me how.
Tell me. Tell me.
She said, I think you're dilated 3. I was like, I was 5
like this.
And now I'm 3. I was shooketh. I was shooketh. And I was like, what? And she's like, and I can't feel his head anymore. This little sucker shifted his head a little bit.
Like this.
Mm-hmm. Literally the tiniest bit.
Like this.
And so the last resort, because it had already been 39 hours since my water had broken. Tell them what you said, what you told the...
It had not been 39, it had been 37.
No, it wasn't. It was 39.
Yeah, because it was 39 when you gave birth. So anyways, I counted, you know, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, because at that point they were like, you're gonna have to have a C-section.
Oh yeah. So they're like, you have to have a C-section. And I looked at Debbie and I was like, don't cry. Boom, automatic tears.
I started bawling because I wasn't prepared for a C-section, and it's not what I wanted. It's not what I prepared for.
Like, so you know that video of that dude that goes, yeah, that was Debbie.
Such a jerk.
So yeah, so Debbie was bawling, and then I'm over here like calculating.
I don't even know what video you're talking about.
Cause I don't know the name of the video. Anyways, cause it's May 3rd, right? And our niece / almost goddaughter, her birthday is May 4th. So I'm like calculating, if mx equals a plus b. Anyways, so we just needed a few more hours till May 4th.
4 more hours.
5 more hours till May 4th. And I was just like, can we just wait those 5 hours? And the doctor really looks at me like, it's best if we not to wait. And I'm just like, damn it. I was this close, guys, this close to having a May 4th baby.
He wanted to continue waiting, and I'm over here suffering. Well, at that point I had already had the epidural, so I was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, she
But-
didn't feel anything after that.
So I'm like, she's like, go ahead, like, kind of decide on it, see what you want to do. Like, if I really had a choice, because at
Yeah.
that point they were kind of rushing to get him out because he was starting to turn. And I was like, okay. Maybe like not even 15 minutes passed.
Nah,
and
it was like, boom, right
whip
away.
out
Like,
paperwork, and I was like, this is really happening. Meanwhile, my family's texting me, like, making sure I'm okay.
like blowing up the phone.
They're concerned because it's been so long since my water broke, and they were like, just give in, get the C-section. And I was like, no. And then finally I called my mom and I was like, we're having a C-section. And I was crying, and I'm talking to my mom. We had just signed the papers. I'm talking to my mom, and they start wheeling me out of the room, and I was still talking to her, and I'm like, I think I have to go. And they made me hang up the phone.
Yeah. And then so they took her away, and then they took me to the room, and then they're like, here, prep. Well, like, go inside and change your clothes, right? Bro, tell me why we've been having these what is it? That gray marathon?
We were on a marathon of Grey's Anatomy.
Gray's Anatomy, bro. So I'm over here, boom, graying it up, you know.
Hey, you made a cute doctor.
What's it called? What's that dude's called? The Mr. What is
McDreamy.
McDreamy. I was McDreaming it over here, you know what I'm saying? I was McDreaming it, bro. I was like tying my hat, you know, putting my scrubs on. I'm like, ooh, and I put those Crocs. Those things are horrible.
You were wearing those?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you
Bro,
were.
I was full on dressed, girl. You didn't even know. Anyways, so yeah.
I was freaking out.
So then they have like this like little like waiting room before, like it's not even a scrub room, it's like a waiting room. And I'm just there like anxiously like, oh my god, it's gonna happen, I can't wait to see my baby. Oh my god, Debbie. You know, I was saying all these prayers out there, and then out there, come on. Anyways, so yeah, and then they're like, okay, you can walk into the room, and oh sweet baby Jesus, tell me why Debbie looks like she's like crucified, bruh. Debbie's literally like this, like looking at me like this, and I'm like, what the
Because they
hell?
strap you down and
What did I walk into? So I'm just like, and they're like, oh, here, you can sit here next to her, just don't look over the drapes. And I'm just like, damn, I really wanted to look over the drapes. I really did.
when I get wheeled in, they literally like lift me off of one bed, and I don't know, I felt like I could walk, but I had the epidural, so they like lifted me off of one bed and put me on another bed. I don't know how the hell they did that, because your girl was heavy and big with this little baby in there. But they lifted me, they put me on the bed, and then they take me into the OR, and the bed like split in the middle, because they just freaking, I was wide open, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And then these like panels popped out for my arms, and I have really bad anxiety. I was not prepared. It was happening so fast, and everybody was wearing like the surgical mask, so I couldn't recognize anybody. And it took me like the what are they called, midwives, like had to pop their heads open and like take off their mask and be like, it's us, you're okay. Like I had to see familiar faces to be okay. But they then strapped my arms down, which I knew was gonna happen. They strapped my arms down and they start trying to take an IV. They needed 3 IVs, and they poked me so many times because they could not find my veins. I had 6 needles in my arms at once, because they would poke me and then it wouldn't work, so they would leave it there while they looked for the other one. So I would look at my arms and I had needles like coming out of my arms, and then they were strapped, and oh my god, no, it was so nerve-wracking. And then one of the German midwives, she goes and she like grabs my face and she's like, you're okay, breathe, you're gonna be fine. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was still in there for all that part. You know, they put me in when she was already like
ready to go,
good to go, like boom, right before the incision. So then the incision starts happening, right? Bro, tell me why there's a whole panic mode in the OR.
It was horrible.
Panic in the OR.
It was really a very terrifying experience,
bro,
honestly.
So So I'm over here, you know, I'm thinking she got an epidural, she ain't gonna feel the damn thing. Tell me why it looked like your girl was having an exorcism. Like, ah! I was like, damn, I thought you were not supposed to feel anything. She's like, I feel the pressure. They're cutting into me. I was like, they're doing something. I'm like over here like worried, like, oh, are they doing something they're not supposed to be doing?
The second they cut open there, the second they cut open, they started panicking and they were like, oh my God. I freaking squirted blood.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
And I was laying and I could see the big lamp on top of me with like blood on it, and I was
Tell
like,
me why. The doctor, I don't think the doctor was wearing her shades, her boom boom, you know what I'm saying? And then tell me why she cut into Debbie and all I see is into the doctor. I was like, oh snap. Like, what the hell? And then she like had to get wiped down, finally put on the glasses, and then continued. And then your girl was having the exorcism.
I just felt all the pressure, and I felt like if someone was pulling at my belly button, so I kept saying, my belly button, my belly button, it hurts.
It hurts, my belly button. I'm like, I don't think they're supposed to be touching the belly button. So I'm over here like trying to peek, but I couldn't see a damn thing. And she was just like screaming, you know, like, the pressure, I feel the pressure. And then
they freaked out again.
And then there was another panic.
They started pulling him out, and I could feel, like, you could still feel everything. You just, I mean, the pain's not there, but you could feel the pressure, and you could feel like tugging, and I don't know. So, because also the epidural in Germany is like lighter than the one in the States. But so they're pulling him out, and when they're pulling him out, my uterus was still contracting a lot. So what happened was that my uterus contracted around his body, and they couldn't pull him out because it was so tight around him. So everybody started freaking out because they couldn't get the rest of him out, which made me freak out. My heart was beating so fast that Andy was on the side like, you need to calm down. They almost dragged him out of the OR because there was so much panic. Bro,
there was so much like panic around the room. Like one of the nurses, oh man, I got something in my eye. Anyways, one of the nurses grabs me and like pulls me away from Debbie, and I'm like trying to reach her for her arm, like looking at the nurse, looking at Debbie,
holding my hand.
looking at the nurse, looking at Debbie, and I'm like, what is going on? And at this point, I'm like, maybe this procedure portion or what? And I'm just like, this doesn't feel right. And then Debbie's over here panicking, where are you taking him? Where are you going? I was like,
don't go anywhere.
Like, how am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to? I don't know where I'm going. I grabbed
his hand and I was like, you're not going anywhere. Stay here.
And then they finally like I guess they started talking. They're German, so they started talking in German, obviously.
And then they sprayed something in my mouth.
And then they put me back, and the whole panic is still happening. And then they were like looking through the drawers everywhere. Two nurses run out of the OR, like they ran out of the OR, and then some lady was like going through all the drawers, and then finally she gets something. Who the hell knows what this something was? But and then she tells them, the doctor says yes. And she comes over here and she tells Debbie to,
she's like, open your mouth.
Yeah, open your mouth. And then she just sprays into Debbie.
Like 2 sprays, and then the panic was over, and I was like,
yeah. Oh, like what the hell? And then the doctor was like, your breath, it tastes good, right?
Yeah, and then my anxiety kicks in, and I'm like, what did they just give me? What did they feed me? I opened my mouth, I didn't ask what it was. And a lot of times when I was smaller, they would give us like, at the dentist, because she like compared it tasted minty, but at the dentist sometimes they would give you like that cinnamon toothpaste to clean your teeth. And I'm allergic to cinnamon, like my throat will close and I will die allergic. So she sprays it, and I couldn't tell what the flavor was. She's like, it's fresh, right? It tastes good. And I was like, was that cinnamon? Was that cinnamon? And they're confused, like, why the heck is she thinking about, is this cinnamon right now? And I'm like, please, I'm allergic to cinnamon. Is it cinnamon? And they're like, no, calm down, you're fine, you're fine. And that's all that was going through my mind at that point.
And then the lady was like, no, it's mint. So apparently the mint is supposed to help her.
Yeah, I don't
like loosen up.
I don't know what that did, but the panic was over as soon as they sprayed my mouth.
Doctor stuff.
Yeah, and then afterwards they pull him out, and I heard like the faintest little cry. I don't think you heard it.
I heard it. It was just like a
yeah.
And then I was just like, Was that it? And then it was completely silent.
Yeah, and then it went silent. But
and then we were just, me and David were looking at each other like smirking, but not smirking at the same, because we were like, was that it? Was that not it? Was that it? Was
yeah,
that
like
not
is his cry, like why did he stop crying? But in my mind, like once he did a little cry, my heart like went crazy and I was like so happy. But the nurses started freaking out because my heart rate was so high and they were trying to calm me down, but I wasn't freaking out. I was just so happy that he was finally out.
Yeah.
And then I turned my head to one side and they're like taking all the fluids out of his mouth, of his nose,
Right.
and then they had to put the airbag on him and like give him some the pumps of oxygen.
Yeah, the CPR, you know, so they can get all that stuff out of their mouth. Bro, tell me why. Like when you first see it, like the baby, and your baby doesn't automatically cry right away. Bro, tell me why you have like a little panic mode. Like, holy crap! Like, why is my baby not crying?
Your heart
like,
sinks, man.
where's my baby? Like, boom. But I mean, you're seeing the nurses like work on your baby, and they're working fast. You know, like boom, they like experience. But at the same time, you're panicking because you don't know how your baby is. And I'm just like, oh man, like what is going on? Where is our baby? Like why isn't he crying? And then finally, after like, it was probably like a few seconds, but it felt like forever.
Yeah.
Like he starts crying, and like you can see his, like him open his eyes and everything. So.
And then we got a cute little chicken nugget.
Yeah. So while they were actually taking care of him, I decided to turn back around into the doctor, and bruh, tell me why I saw the tub full of Debbie's, I was gonna say intestines, full of Debbie's, the placenta, and bruh, that looked insane but badass. I was just like,
he thought it was my guts.
Bruh, I was like, Debbie, I just saw your guts, ugh, bloody.
The only downside was that they didn't allow him to like cut the umbilical cord or anything like that.
That did suck.
After recovery, he got to go with him and give him like skin to skin, and I had to go. I spent like an hour or two maybe asleep, coming to from the surgery. They gave me medication so I can rest, and then once I got back to the room with them, I got to breastfeed him for the first time and hold him. It was overall such an amazing experience. It was a long time, but it was completely all worth it for this little man.
Yeah, like it was crazy because, man, like during the whole time, like while I was like having that skin to skin, it felt so great. But then he started crying, and I knew he was hungry. He was
so hungry.
I knew he was hungry, and I was just like, it's okay, buddy, like you're gonna be with your mom soon. You know, I was trying to like motivate him at the same time, telling him like all these great things that he's gonna be. And then like it was just, I thought it was an amazing moment for me and him, you know, personally. And then they washed him,
yeah, he got to experience all of that, and we got to record it.
Yeah, so they took his weight right in front of me, and I was like, man, this is so like a blessing, you know. I felt so blessed to have him, but at the same time, in the back of my head, I was like, how's Debbie? Like, where is she? Like, how long is she gonna be out? Like, I didn't know what the hell was happening.
And we hadn't replied to my family for like 3-4 hours, and they were freaking out because the last news they got was me going into the surgery.
And that was it.
And when we finally got back to them, they were so relieved. But
yeah, it was a freak of 2 days.
But we have him now, and we are incredibly happy with him. He has been such a blessing to our little family.
Blessing, and we're tired, and we're sleepy, but we love him so much.
And as you can tell, so many breaks in between this video because he just wanted to be held, and then he got hungry. But we're hanging in there, and we just can't wait to share his growth with you all, our journey as new parents.
Exactly.
And we're going back to the States. We can't wait to be with our families and share all the amazing experiences that we are going to have.
I tell you what, parenting in the beginning is so hard, but you feel so blessed on having your child around with you, and waiting those 9 months is like so intense, or 10 months, whatever it is. But you just feel so blessed, and it's amazing how things are now. I mean, it's almost 3 months, and things are looking great. You know, he's sleeping a lot more. So
Yeah,
that's
but-
a plus.
We'll save that for possibly another video, because if not, we can go on and on and on forever.
Yes.
But we definitely like to hear about your all's experience, your all's labor and delivery, especially if we did it during this COVID situation. Let us know down below how things went for you all, and don't forget to subscribe to
Like it.
keep following us on our little journey with our little man.